Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Brotherhood Entertainment, and it is a brand new day. Man, I'm here with my
A
boy
new
Magic
day.
Fingers, my partner over at Main Event Mafia Podcast. Go follow us over there. Doing big things. This is not a wrestling centric episode. This is going up on my main channel because I want to talk about Spider-Man. And I will say before we start talking, spoiler warning: if you haven't seen the movie within 2 days, you've had two
Turn the
days.
shit off.
Yeah, turn the shit off. So, Drew, go ahead, man. Give me your biggest takeaways. Give me what did the movie make you feel? There we go. Took me a second to get it out.
I was happy to see that the director read the comics and followed the comics to the letter.
Yes.
So anyone else that's going to be doing any films anytime soon, comic related, hey, James Gunn, I'm talking to you.
All right, Chris Carter Jr. Calm down.
Read the comics, and if you're going to put a live action movie based on a comic, make sure, because Supergirl sucked,
Ass.
that you follow the damn comic or don't do it because you're going to ruin what could be an amazing opportunity.
It wasn't even close to Woman of Tomorrow like he said
No,
it was going to be.
no, no. But Spider-Man was perfect.
Yeah.
I would
It
go watch it again right now
yeah,
and watch it tomorrow, probably for a few days until I finally get bored with it, which will take a while
a long time.
because it was absolutely enjoyable from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a time and I can't first of all, let me talk about my theater experience. I don't know what happened to theaters. Y'all fucking suck, man. What happened? When I went to Endgame, there was people jumping and screaming and high-fiving each other. There was a moment where I got shushed. Let me tell y'all this story. I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. I mean, I got a Will Ospreay jersey. If you've seen my actual like bedroom, I have Captain America shield there. I'm a huge comic nerd. There was multiple times where I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" out loud. Like I wasn't loud, but I was just like
Right.
audibly like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And I got shushed, and I let it happen 4 times. And there was this I don't want to say that word on here, but there was this little shit goblin next to me with a fucking like I'm talking about like a fucking like a Tupac diamond earring in his ear. And the last time it happened was near the end of the movie, which we'll talk about in a second. And it was the big final climactic fight, which is one of probably the best Spider-Man fight sequence we've ever seen on screen. Period. He said, shh. And I looked at him. I said, if you tell me to shut up one more time, I'm going to take that earring and shove it so far up your ass, your teeth will turn freaking silver. Didn't speak to me for the rest of the time. Other than that, I had a great time. My theater was kind of dead, which I'm not used to. Um, I'm used to people jumping up and high fiving, but I don't think we'll get that till Doomsday, not around here.
Probably.
Because most people that come to these movies around here, where I'm from, they're people like my father and dad. I know you got a camera right there so you can hear me. They grew up reading comics in the 1970s and 80s, and they're not really fans of the current direction the MCU is going, which is fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm also entitled to look at you and say, you're fucking stupid. You are. If you go to this movie and say, oh, it was an all right Spider-Man movie, you're not a Spider-Man fan. Don't
No.
don't tell me you are, because this movie, and I'll let you talk in a second, but I have so much to say about this movie. It connected with me on a personal level
Yep.
to a degree that no movie this year, no, I don't think any movie ever has connected with me, because the struggles that Peter Parker was going through, the self doubt that he was going through, the depression, all that was me like a month ago. And there's a scene in this movie, and I'm going to jump ahead, but we'll bounce back and forth. They're on this rooftop, and Jean Grey, who is played by Sadie Sink, spoiler alert, which this whole fucking review spoiler, but if you didn't figure that out, you need to go get your brain scanned. I think your brain's gonna look like Chris Benoit's. But but there's a moment where she takes mind control of MJ, and Peter thinks that she remembers him. I cried one time in this movie, but that was the only time I cried was because I've lost my MJ. And so that hit me from a personal standpoint. It was like Peter Parker looking through my eyes, saying everything I wanted to say, but I couldn't. Um, and man, what a moment. What a, first of all, Sadie Sink in this movie. A lot of people might not like it because she's not your traditional Jean Grey. She's a fucking bitch. She is a fucking cunt. She does multiple things in this movie where I'm just like, I want to fucking strangle you. But
But Game of Thrones girl wish she was.
yeah, but by the end of the movie, I'm like, man, I feel so bad for you because
Yep.
at the end of the day, all she wanted was to find her sister.
Yep.
That's the only family she ever had. Um, Now, granted, she was doing some psycho shit to do it.
Yep.
Um, but that the I can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the overarching story that they were telling with this movie in terms of a lesson or something you can take from it is we all have bad days,
Yep.
but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you get up and keep fighting, you're gonna be okay. Peter Parker, I had somebody ask me the other day, why do dudes like Spider-Man so much? It's because we all were that little boy that saw ourselves in that mask at one point. And that's what makes Spider-Man so great. That's why Stan Lee made him wear the mask. You could be black, white, Dominican, purple, pink. It doesn't matter. You can all fit in that mask. And he's the only superhero that is a superhero, but he has also regular shit going on. He's not an alien from Krypton. He's not a billionaire, dude that dresses up as a bat at night. He's just a kid that got bit by a spider that deals with the same shit that Drew deals
Yeah.
with when he goes to bed at night, and I deal with. But Drew, go ahead, man. Give me your What'd you think about John Bernthal's Punisher? Is what I really want to know.
I just rewatched the last was it Last Dance, whatever he had.
Last kill.
Yeah, Last Kill.
Yep.
I was thinking basketball for a second with Michael Jordan, the true GOAT. So besides Will Ospreay. Anyways, anyways, um, I love the way they're building the friendship between them two.
Yes.
After seeing the last kill, how he went through his deepest, darkest struggles and then came back through the other side. In which, if they don't talk about Staten Island and show the him saving his life, because they talk about it throughout the entire movie,
Yeah.
they need to show that at some point.
Mm,
So if they're going to do another season of The Punisher, they better have Tom Holland in there, and they better explain Staten Island.
yeah. Because
Or
that
it would
was.
be like Daredevil, where you see Jessica Jones come in for a few episodes,
Yeah.
something like that, where we actually explain the whole Staten Island situation in the actual live action. Um, but I love the build up between them two of not like a father son, but older brother with little brother.
Yeah.
Seeing them pick on each other and giving each other a hard time, and just the back and forth on it was just phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean that to me and a lot of people going into this movie were like, "Oh, why is Punisher in a Spider-Man movie?" Are we forgetting that Punisher made his debut in Marvel Comics in a Spider-Man comic? Like like that's the thing that's been irritating me about this movie. There is some negative things I see online, and it's all people that claim to be comic fans, that claim to be
Yeah,
Spidey fans, but don't have a fucking clue about the
just so
history.
happy they're not the director.
Yes, like first of all, shout out to Daniel Destin Craig. Um, the dude did a great job with Shang-Chi, and I knew when they gave it to him, I was like, man, that guy gave us the action in Shang-Chi, which is some of the best hand-to-hand
Yeah.
fight scenes in the MCU's history. He
Oh
can
man,
take that. And first of all, I know we're jumping all over the place, but this movie was so good that I have so
yeah.
many things. Um,
The
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 web
the uh
swinging.
the web slinging at the beginning of the movie, the camera angles they were showing, like you said, based off the video game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so much fun to see on the big screen.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch at home when it comes out later on, probably later this year, maybe
Yep.
January 1st, something like that, right before Christmas.
Yep.
Uh, when you're able to watch it at home, it's just not going to have the same effect as it did on the big screen of making it feel like you are the one, the Spider-Man
Yeah.
slinging around New York and going after the crime Fridays.
I mean that was one thing for me that just blew me away the entire time. The web swinging in this movie. I'm a huge Insomniac Spider-Man fan. I have the platinum for all both games, all three games, the Miles, the Spider-Man 1 and 2. When I tell you it felt like I was watching an Insomniac live action, and that's not
Yep.
dogging on Tom Holland. I've had 24 hours to set on this movie, and Tom Holland has become my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like I love Andrew, and I will. Toby's my guy. Somebody fucks with Toby, we're gonna have to fight. But Tom Holland, honestly, deserve. This is gonna sound crazy. Deserves an Oscar for his performance in this movie.
Yeah.
He brought a level of depression, and it helped. I think it helped him because his wife, his beautiful, oh my god, gorgeous, amazing, wonderful wife, plays his love interest in this franchise. And so I feel like in those scenes, when they were talking about, because she finds the letter, and what a holy fuck moment.
Yeah, that
Um,
that scene itself was the director knew exactly how to grab a hold of your already
yeah,
fragile heart
yeah,
and just squeeze a little bit
just
tighter, a
squeeze it.
little bit tighter, a little bit tighter until you just felt your heart just finally try that one last bump to push out
Yeah,
some blood, and then it just
it just
it
stops.
reminded me of when in Infinity War when Peter just disappears into the dust. That's what my heart
Mhm.
felt like during that scene, dude.
Yeah. There were so many times in this movie. There was about a handful of times where he did that to us, you know, and some of it was minute, like Peter's sacrifice in this movie. And I have one problem with this movie, and we'll get to that when we get to it. Drew knows what I'm talking about. His sacrifice meant something, and for the first time, he's not just Iron Boy. He's fucking Spider Man.
Yep.
Um, and there was a moment where she finds the letter, and what a beautiful moment. What a tear jerking scene because she says, "You know what? Take that mask off." Because he was in full get up, had the mask
Yep.
on. She said, "I feel like I deserve to know the person that wrote this letter." And when he takes that mask off, and you see the pain in his eyes because he realizes, "Oh God, I should have said something. I should have done something." And then she tells him like, "Hey, I'm not that person. Like I'm sure that girl that you wrote this letter to loved you more than anything in the world, but I'm not that person. I'm not her." Um, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, man, because
But
I've been
see,
there.
yeah, I mean, and the part that sucks is, yeah, he did he wait too long? Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Did he have the opportunities? Of course. I mean, he had that letter initially when he went to the coffee shop at the end of No Way Home.
But
Um,
then that would have meant the sacrifice meant nothing.
right, right. But he could have slowly built the relationship back up with them
Yeah.
if he really wanted if he really wanted to. But he was trying to protect them, so he didn't. He stayed away. And we saw the destruction that did to him, not only physically or mentally, but physically, which helped that mutation start to expand to be more spider than more than human. But at the same
Yeah.
time, when she said, "I'm not that person," the one of the very next scenes, she tells him flat out, "I don't have a phone. Can you take me home?" And then
Yeah.
she invites him up,
Yeah.
and Ned's there. And earlier in the movie, when they're doing that housewarming party, Ned, he sees Ned's wall. He's like, "Hey, I promise you, I'm not a weirdo or whatever. I just want to know who Spider-Man is because he saved my life." And just tell him, thank you.
Thank you.
Not to like blast his identity to the world, but just to personally shake his hand, say thank you for the time you saved my ass.
Yep.
But they're sitting there after he introduced himself, and he stays in the costume. But they're sitting there playing with Legos, building the Star Wars Legos and
Yeah.
whatnot, building the
That
Death
got
Star or
me.
whatever.
That got
And
me.
he like we don't realize that MJ is over there drawing a piece of paper. Like it looks like maybe she's working on some homework or some
Yep.
work for a job that they mentioned earlier in the movie, but we don't
Which I
realize that she's drawing, and she
Yep.
draws the both of them, and she even says it looks like y'all best friends,
Yeah.
and she flat out tells him, "Look, I know now.
Hmm.
Tell him he can handle it."
Yeah.
And they don't get to that yet because of some other things that lead up. So it just see there without knowing well, with Ned without knowing who Spider-Man really was,
That's
and
his
to see
brother.
their banter back and
Yep.
forth of the playing off of each other with the different quotes and things.
Yeah.
It's like the Ned and Peter we knew from uh,
Far from
Homecoming.
home and Homecoming.
Yeah,
and it was beautiful, man. That to me, and I went to this movie with um, a person that means the world to me, Nate, who I grew up with. We've been best friends since like pretty much third grade. Um, and there was multiple times where we kind of just looked at each other like, bro, we literally are Ned and Peter,
Yep.
like because we were talking about it when we were walking out, like that would be us. Like if one of us lost a memory and we needed to keep it, like that connection wouldn't go away just because some magical fucking wizard said poof. Um, and I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really well done. I will say there's a lot of villains in this movie that were just one shots, and it pisses me off. Um,
Ah,
they,
but that could be a good build for later, though.
yeah, but for Scorpion, for example, right? Badass suit, badass character. 10 years of what? Maybe five,
Yeah.
10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
10 years of build up for that shit.
I see what you're saying.
Um,
Like for Tombstone, that that's going to build up to a later time, I believe. It should. Um,
it
it might be a
should.
different developer arc, but it could be. Um, it should be main story at some point.
Yeah, it definitely should. They should bring in Hammerhead and all these things and have the faith to bring these D
Or
level.
they could do like Amazon is doing and do live action shows or Disney Plus. You could do like Spider-Man, a 8 episode arc
Mm-hmm.
that's not just Nick Cage, but you could have Tom Holland actually facing Scorpion during something. One season's just Scorpion, one season is strictly Tombstone, or one season strictly Rhino, one season strictly Shocker, and et cetera, et cetera. And then you're
Good
building up to the
grief.
Sinister Six.
Good grief, brother. But the problem with that, like, I let us cook. Like, give me control of Marvel, I'd fix a lot of things.
Yeah.
Um, it wouldn't took me. I understand with legality standpoint why we couldn't do X-Men or what. It wouldn't have took me 15 years to get the X-Men. I'd have paid whatever
No,
money
no,
price.
it'd take me maybe 6 months.
Yeah, I'd have paid whatever money price that needed to be paid. I don't
Yep.
care. Take my whole damn company. Just give me my X-Men. Um, there's a lot of things I would fix, but the problem with that is, and I'm agreeing with what you're saying. They could do that, but Sony won't never let them. There's a reason we don't have a solo
Sony
Hulk.
be in charge of it still, but do like they're doing right now with the MCU.
Yeah, well, that would take
Like
a
they did with Spider Noir. Now that you've done that, you've seen the success it did. Bring Tom Holland in, do your own TV show, and get these other side characters the screen time they deserve.
yeah. There was a lot of things.
Hell,
Um,
recreate the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon from the '90s, but just use Tom Holland
or
as Spider-Man.
bring back my spectacular Spider-Man,
Yes.
please. Um, there was so much. This movie was just fun.
Oh,
And it was
the scene with the Hulk.
oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
First of all,
Actually, honestly, I love the school scene where he's
yeah,
talking with the professor
yeah, yeah.
and the conversation they had, where you could see that look in the professor's eye, like, where are you getting at with this kid? Like, who are you? And he's trying
Who
to
are
figure
you?
shit out. And he
And
had a
then
great making sure if you're going to be playing this dangerous game, who's to say what you're trying to suppress needs to be suppressed? Why not unleash it?
yep,
Which just was foreshadowing for the end.
yeah. And that's the thing. And they did something that I don't think a lot of people caught. I didn't see you talk about it when he's talking to Bruce. He asks him what his name is. Who are you? And he says Ned Leeds. That's going to set up big opportunities for Ned in the future. He didn't just do
Yeah.
that because he was like, "Oh, I got to think of a name." He did that because he knew, oh, Ned's smart. Ned's a genius. Um,
Yeah, but the whole thing with Ned, I have a bad feeling
Hobgoblins on the
his
way.
obsession with the wall and everything that he made, that is his initial spark to becoming Hobgoblin.
I don't want to see Jacob Batalon as any goblin. And I know it happens in the comics, but technically it's not even Ned Leeds if you look deeper into the
Yeah,
story and you read the whole story.
yeah.
Um,
Like especially after No Way Home, and he's like, "Hey, I promise, I'm never going to turn into your, being your best friend. I'm not going to turn to the villain to
yeah.
kill you."
But maybe that's just Kevin Feige saying, "Yeah, we're not turning this guy. He's his ride or die." Um,
I don't
but
know.
but the thing for me is, first of all, um, like just the fact that they still had that friendship, and you could be right, that could be the way that he goes. But I think you know who Genki is from the Ultimate Universe. He's Miles's guy in the chair.
Right?
I think they'll make him Genki because he's always been Genki. They just couldn't call him Genki.
Yeah,
Um,
I can see that. They could go either way.
And I think Peter will go off into the next movie. Now it's going to take 5 to 10 years, but I think he'll go off into the next movie, and he'll meet a guy called Harry Osborn, and Harry Osborn will be his like ride or die new best friend for a while, and then we'll meet Norman Osborn. Don't know who that would be played by. Um, you got to give me a little bit if y'all want fan castings, but you know, I think we're leading towards a Gwen Stacy arc for Peter. I think we're leading towards um, a lot of things for Tom Holland Spider Man, but I think a lot of them, a lot of people that say negative things. Now, I'm not saying you don't have a right to say negative things about this movie. You're entitled to your opinion, and if you didn't like it, that's on you. We can talk about it, and I can tell you this is why you're wrong, or you can tell me this is why I'm wrong. But there's so much potential that is set up by this movie, um, with the X-Men, because at the end of this movie, spoiler alert, Sadie Sink goes up to upstate New York. You can tell by the trees. People are like,
Yep.
"Oh, they never said upstate New York." If you know what New York looks like, you dick face, you'd know that's where she was headed.
And she definitely
Um,
wasn't going south.
no, she was headed to upstate New York, for the to Xavier School.
Yep.
So that tells me that Xavier School already exists in this universe. How are we going to say, because we're not getting the original 2000s X-Men. We're getting them in Doomsday, but when it comes to the X-Men in the MCU, we're getting a whole new
Yep.
cast and crew. How do we explain these people have always been here? They've always had these powers, but they weren't there at the Battle of New York. There was no Magneto. There was no Charles. There was no Logan. There was nobody. There was just we had the Avengers. That was it. From a realistic standpoint, it's because we didn't have the rights to them. But from a story standpoint, if they're gonna say, "Oh, Charles Xavier's here" or whatever, how the fuck? Where were they when all this shit happened? Where were they when the blip was happening? Where were they when the Chitauri attacked New York? Where were these people? That's my only concern with the X Men.
You've got Adam Driver, as everyone knows, as from the newest Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
He's potentially playing Magneto in the upcoming movies. And then Patrick Wilson or Bill Skarsgård are the ones they're talking about playing Xavier.
No, you don't need Bill Skarsgård to play Xavier. You need him to play freaking Never mind. I'll shut up. You need to get him away from Marvel. Put him in DC as Joker. But that's just
Ah,
you know that's just me because I love Bill Skarsgård. I think he's fucking phenomenal. But I don't think he would. It would be like casting Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I just
I
I'm
think you should have his older brother play the one from True Blood.
Yeah,
Have him play Xavier maybe, but not Bill.
no,
But Patrick Wilson could do a great job too.
yeah. Patrick Wilson could do a great job. That's my only concern about this. And I'm a huge X Men fan. Loving X Men '97. If you
Yep.
haven't caught up with that, you need to. Because the Gambit arc that they're building to right now, good
Yep.
God Almighty, it's gonna be great. But Spider Man for me. Anything else you want to cover? We done covered John Bernthal, by the way, is fucking hilarious in this movie.
Oh, he is.
I I had a couple adult beverages, so I was playing Fortnite, and last night I bought the uh before I went for the movie, I bought the whole bundle. They added a Spider-Man skin and a Punisher skin. Had to buy it. Couldn't not buy it. So I'm on my squad and they're like over here, and I'm just over here like, let me tell you something, Red. You gonna do something, you better do it now. The entire time. And they're like, bro, what are you talking about? I was like, y'all don't understand because y'all ain't seen it yet. Like, are you blushing, Daffodil? That's been on my head all day long since I
No, see,
walked
and
out of the
then
theater.
you had oh, it's the scene where they were initially when you first see him come through and they're
Yeah,
fighting
when
each
he
other
hits him with the
basically
van.
to get the tank,
Yep.
and then you see their relationship towards the end when he's saying, hey, I can't build my stuff here. I've got to go back to my place. I've got to get my stuff. And he's like, no, I've got this, and this here for you. He's like, well, how the hell do you have that? And it's MJ. It's like bombs, and he's like, bingo. They're like, yeah, you know,
Bingo.
they're not giving him enough credit for the stuff he's got.
No. And I was worried about this. Um, my biggest concern about this movie was that they would dumb Punisher down. Now they did water him
No,
down a little bit,
well,
in terms of the violence, but in terms of the language, we didn't get. Let me tell you something, you motherfucker, like we would have in Daredevil. But he was still frank, and I was
Yeah.
so happy about that. The
I
biggest.
loved his facial expressions while fighting the Hulk.
Yes,
And he's
the
just
whole.
thinking, I need a bigger gun. I need a bigger gun. And he goes, what are you going to do? Tickle him to death?
Yeah. That whole scene to me was the best because that wasn't Peter Parker and
Mm-mm.
Frank Castle. That was John Bernthal and Tom Holland just having
Yeah.
fun.
Just having fun on screen.
And it was the greatest. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out later. 90% of their stuff was ad libbed.
I can believe that.
Like it was that good.
Yep.
Um, to where there's a moment where he's fighting the Hulk. Now, I'm a huge Punisher fan. Love Frank Castle. Love John Bernthal's Punisher. If you know anything about John Bernthal, every time he fights somebody, whether they're big, small, he's always screaming.
Yep.
John Bernthal literally is running at the Hulk, screaming, just ah, and it was the greatest thing ever. And then when he
But he
breaks,
actually showed like fear as well in
yeah,
the facial expression of like, oh God,
yeah.
you know.
Well, he's never fought the Hulk. He's never,
Right.
he
But
ain't
he's
never
always
dealt with
been this
him.
hard ass look all the
Yeah.
time when he's about to go up against something, no matter who or what it was.
Yep.
And then for him to turn and be like, huh, oh
Oh shit.
shit. It's like, oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, but that's the thing though. A lot of people in our theater, they were like, people that were sitting next to Nate and his wife were like, "Oh, that's not Punisher. Why is he being goofy?" Did you not watch One Last Kill? His character development, he's not that cold-hearted person anymore.
No, he's really not.
No, he realized that I don't. My family is avenged, but I'm taking up for the small guy.
Yep.
Now, will I still get blood on my hands?
Oh
Absolutely,
yes, absolutely.
but I'm not gonna go over here and be a ruthless asshole
Right.
anymore. The DoorDash is almost here,
Uh-oh.
which I'm excited about because I got a Slurpee coming. You know how long it's
Ooh.
been since I had a Slurpee, y'all?
Ooh.
So I'm gonna have to jump off here. Well, not jump off here, but I'm gonna have to dip out for a second.
All right.
When they get here, they're not even in Chapmanville actually. Um, but yeah, man. Anything else you want to cover from the movie other than how great?
I'm really looking forward to it coming out on streaming
Yeah, I'm gonna pause it
appropriately,
and go frame by frame.
appropriately Twitter,
Yeah, you
you
pieces
Twitter
of shit.
marks. Um,
First of all, fuck you, Twitter marks. Drew's nice. He won't tell you to go fuck yourself. I hope every night you lay down, you stub your toe before you get in your bed. Every single night of your life for the rest of your life.
but, but I'm looking forward to seeing it myself again so that I can push pause in certain spots. Because I looked up last night because it took me a while to go to sleep, trying to
Mm-hmm.
see were there any references to Stan Lee
Mm-hmm.
in this movie? Were there any street signs or any of the graffiti or anything? Like the small stuff in the background. Can you pick on that stuff to see if there's anything special in remembrance of him? Because he was one of the ones that helped co-create Spider-Man
Yep.
specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved the fact that they've had him, some kind of cameo or reference towards him. And since he died, they've done stuff like a picture on the wall, an article or something in the paper. But obviously, they're not going to do like an AI thing where he's like photo imaging it or somewhere like that. But um, I want to actually find that stuff myself. So I want to be able to pause it whenever I want and not have to worry about seeing it and pissing somebody off in a theater because I've gone and seen it enough times to where, I also feel like, if you've watched the movie a certain amount of times in a theater,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the way prices are now,
Mm-hmm.
if you've gone to see the movie 5, 6 times and you spent that kind of money on it, you've owned a copy of it already. Like that should kind of become
Yeah.
a no shit kind of situation.
Yeah, there was a few people. There was no kids in my theater, which parents, thank you. Thank you.
I had a few, but these guys were like legitimate Spider-Man. A few kids that were there, even though it's a
Yeah.
10 o'clock show that I saw last night, were in
Mhm.
Spider-Man pajamas. So
Well,
they were
that's
there to fully enjoy,
yeah,
the boys with the dad, not just mom on her phone and letting the kids do whatever
yeah.
they want during the movie.
Well, that's what I don't have a problem with that, man, because I was, my dad took me to the first Iron Man in 2008,
Right.
and that's one of my crown memories. That's why I love Marvel so much and the MCU
Yep.
so much. It's why the shit matters to me. Um, so I don't have a problem with that. My problem is when you take your 4-year-old that watches Spidey and his amazing friends on fucking Disney
Yeah,
Plus
true, true.
and is asking, "It's Spider Man." Well, no shit, little Timmy, sit the fuck down. You're in Spider Man. What the fuck you think it is? Those are that's the shit I can't stand. It makes me angry. And then there's these teenagers that are on their phone, like the teenagers little fuck it. It's 2026. You get offended with the word I'm about to say, go fuck yourself. These little faggots that were sitting there, and that's the only word to describe them. I'm not being stereotypical or an asshole. They were being little faggots. Look up the definition of a faggot. They were being little assholes. They were like, "Is there a post credit scene?" And they Googled it. Now, granted, I had already seen the post credit scene. I had because
Yep,
Twitter.
I had a few in my group last night too that were saying, "Hey, is there going to be a post-credit scene?" And they were starting to get a little frustrated, and whatnot, going through because everybody had to pee as well. I mean, it is a long movie,
Yeah,
but I just looked back, like, yes, there's a post-credit scene. It's at the very end. Just calm down, or stay calm, stay patient, and we can all see it together. But let's talk about that post-credit scene.
yeah. Go ahead.
We see that wonderful app that Ned created,
Yes, which is also a reference
Spidey
to
Tracker.
Insomniac.
Yes, got to see that wonderful Spidey Tracker, and you got to see that it had located Spider-Man in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Then it zoomed out. It zoomed out, and it was saying that it could not detect Spider-Man. And then it goes to what looks like a rip in the universe, a tear, and then you just see it out in space somewhere, saying Spider-Man's been found. I have two guesses of what it might be. Either one, this is the way they're breaking it into potentially Avenger Doomsday. If they're starting in Tobey Maguire's universe, which is quite possible, or two, every single Spider-Man movie so far with Tom Holland has referenced some way of having a black Spider-Man. So is this their way, small little indication they are introducing Miles Morales into the MCU? Now, with Miles Morales, there's no guarantee it would be in the next few movies, but it can be that very first time he gets specifically mentioned. It's already been mentioned multiple times, but here's another mention for the fourth movie of where it's at. And usually when it comes to an end credit scene with the next few movies, that's telling a story along the way of now we're going to introduce to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you watch the last Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, he's also in the wrong dimension.
Yeah.
So did they tie this in with that series? And when they do the third Into Across the Spider-Verse, whatever it's going to be called,
Beyond the
yeah,
Spider-Verse.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, thank you. He gets back to his home area. That end game or that post-credit scene is the cartoon version of Tom Holland Spider-Man seeing Miles Morales.
I can see where you're going, but I think the fanboy in you is reaching a little bit too far.
It's quite possible. If that was directing, that's the way I would go.
I want to see it. I love Miles. In fact, we got the voice actor for Miles. I don't know if you caught that. Did you catch it?
Hmm.
Um, he was on the street and got mind controlled by Gwen, and it was awesome. I don't think they're going that route yet because Kevin Feige said that they legally cannot even mention him, even reference him.
They haven't said a name yet, though. That's the thing.
That's why the scene in Homecoming was removed because there's a scene that was cut from Homecoming where Aaron Davis, we got the, oh yeah, I have a nephew that's around here, but in the original scene he actually was on the phone with Miles and said, "Hey
Right.
Miles, I can't make it." They had to take that out because Sony said, "No,
Yep.
you can't say his name."
But in No Way Home, Jamie Foxx even referenced
Hmm.
there's got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere.
Yeah, they can reference it, they just can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All right. They can't say an
Um,
actual name.
yeah, they can't say an actual name. And as far as that goes, man, like I think you're reaching a little bit too far. I see the vision that you're going for with Miles, but I'm telling you, it's Tobey Maguire. It's Toby.
And that's the other thing. Every movie, every Marvel movie, at the
Hmm.
very end, they'll say your lead character will return in the next movie. And they'll tell you what next movie he's going to be in.
Yeah.
After this movie, Brand New Day, they
Hmm.
said Spider-Man will return, dot, dot, dot.
Yeah. They didn't say
They didn't say he's going to be in Doomsday.
no.
They didn't say Secret Wars.
Mm.
We have no idea when we're going to see Spider-Man.
But I will say also another thing. The script for this movie, Brand New Day, got leaked, what, almost a year ago?
Yeah.
And it was down to the letter exactly how that script said it was going to be. Is it from scene to scene was
Yep.
how the movie went. And there's been multiple reports. If you look at these Doomsday script leaks, that Toby Maguire shows up in Doomsday and he had, has to help. Um, there's been a rumor for a year and a half that the movie's going to open with him trying to save his universe and him having to fight the X-Men, but the X-Men are there. Well, always have been there, but they know what incursions are. Toby doesn't at the moment, and I think him. I don't think we see the whole X-Men get fucking dusted because why would we do that? Why would we bring back James Marston and all these
How could you
people?
imagine that scene that they show in the trailer of James Marsden, the Cyclops, on his knees and shooting that massive blast out?
Mhm.
That's him right before he's getting vaporized.
I would be pissed. You want me to tell you why I'd be pissed? They already killed this motherfucker by a lake for no fucking reason.
Touche. Well, I mean, that was Sony being in charge of it too, though.
Yeah,
So, I
that
mean,
was
that's,
fucking Sony.
yeah. And Sony
But
has proven they can't really do X-Men that well.
I think, well, first class.
Let's talk about something I can't believe we haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah,
A surprise person from the MCU that was there.
who we talking about?
That Peter Parker goes to a sauna to
Oh,
see.
oh my gosh. Oh
Because
my
I was
God.
completely baffled
I
to
tell you
see
what.
that she's just sitting there in the water
Let me
and
tell
that
you
she's
something.
now being called the Black Widow.
First of all, I love that. A lot of people were upset about that online. She's not Black Widow.
I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
Well, she is Black Widow.
Well, she is, but she is a Black Widow.
Yeah,
They're
but
calling her the Black Widow.
her sister's dead. She's a new
I
Avenger.
know,
She's earned that
I
right.
know.
Um,
I'm to me though, it's just when I'm seeing Black Widow, all I'm thinking is the ginger.
First
I
of all,
can't see.
I've never hated fucking water so bad in my life. I've never hated it so much in my life. Now listen, for those of you who don't think Florence Pugh is attractive, because there's a lot of y'all out there, you need to go get your fucking eyeballs checked.
Agreed.
I've never hated water so bad in my life. I was sitting there going, fucking water the
I
entire
was
time.
curious though with that scene of how far Peter was going to go getting in the water. When he removed the towel, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
are we going to unfortunately be seeing some bare ass here? But nope,
Yeah.
got it with
Nope.
the drawers on. I was like, all right,
Well, here's the thing.
smart
That's
man.
another reference to Insomniac. Um, because if you 100% complete that game, the final suit you get is what's called the underwear suit. And it's Spider-Man in Spider-Man underwear with his mask on and his chest is exposed. I was popping so hard. Um, I thought it was a great scene. Uh, only thing I will
She's like,
say,
welcome to my office.
I wish I was on set that day. That's all I'm gonna. That's all I'm gonna say. I've
And
never
I
hated
love the fact
water.
that after a while, when they reach back out to her later in the movie
Mm-hmm.
for more information,
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, I'm glad the sad guy is got finally got some friends."
Yep.
When she sees Ned and Ned and MJ in the background,
Mm-hmm.
it just felt like a good wholesome moment that was just
Yep.
exactly where the story needed to be at that time.
And one thing I will say before, because we're almost done with this review, we've almost covered everything. Then we got to go record our SummerSlam predictions
Yep.
and whatever.
Yep.
One thing I will say, and you're going to disagree with me because I know she's supposed to be younger in this movie. I feel like they're experiencing something or they're trying to experiment with something that I don't think's been done in the comics, and that's a relationship between Peter Parker and Jean Grey.
It's possible,
But she looks more comic accurate to MJ than MJ does.
but I think relationship wise for Peter, he'll have a black cat before he does anything with anyone else.
Yeah,
He'll have a black cat relationship,
yeah.
which if they do it right, there's talk that Sydney Sweeney could be Black Cat.
Oh my
I mean, just here's my wallet now. Just come on.
gosh.
Here's my
Take my
wallet.
take my money. All right, man. So there is our brand new day review. Um, like I said, this experience is something that I won't forget for a long time. I really wish I could have went and
No.
saw it with my dad. Um, because my dad and me that's what we connect over is MCU. Now, his opinions piss me off. The fact that he says James Gunn is ruining DC
Mm.
and all this. Now,
After
Drew,
watching Supergirl, I kind of have to say I can agree.
listen. Okay, all right. We're not done because we're going to talk about this. I'm sick of this bullshit. How many bad movies has the MCU had?
Not as many as the DC universe.
I don't know. Answer your
Da,
question.
da, 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 da.
How many though?
A handful.
More than a handful. This whole multiverse saga was the worst fucking thing Marvel's ever done.
But it was a way to tell the story, and we needed to see it.
Oh, bullshit. It wasn't the way to tell
I
it.
still enjoyed some of them. It
It's
wasn't Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, come on, that.
they could have gave DC to Taika Waititi's fucking dumbass, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
well, I mean, you when you look at the four Thor movies that have been made so far, I think Love and Thunder actually takes the cake for the worst one now because of what they did with Christian Bale's character. You take one of the strongest villains and you made him so cheesy.
Who Gore?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not even close.
yeah,
But my big thing with James Gunn is here's the thing, guys. He's having to start from scratch. When he came in, that fucking universe was on its last leg. Nobody
yeah.
gave
But
a
he struck gold with Superman.
yes, and I understand that. And I think he was just trying to experiment. You when you're starting out stuff like this, you have to experiment. Granted, I think Supergirl is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It's definitely the worst thing he's done. But does that make me go, oh, he's fucking DC up? No. He's a human being.
You know, they have an expression in golf
Mm-hmm.
when if you do a really great shot on a hole, your next few holes are going to be horrible before you can have another great shot and improve your game. And I think that's what we're in for with DC right now.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the movies, they haven't had the greatest reputation.
No.
TV shows, spot on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they destroyed Marvel.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the movies, the Marvel movies have had the right people getting the right attention and the right direction. Can't say the same for DC.
Yeah, you can't say.
And
Well,
they've
we're
had to
trying.
restart so many things all the time for DC instead of continuing on with the story. Just give it back to Zack Snyder and let him take his
Fuck
universe.
Zack Snyder. Fuck Zack
That
Snyder.
Zack Snyder Justice League movie was amazing.
Yes. But here's the thing. He's also the guy that made it okay for Batman to kill people with fucking guns.
Well, there is one part of the comics where he does, so
That's not Bruce Wayne, though. That's Thomas
it's
Wayne.
well,
All
but
right,
still,
we going I could
we
say
could
this
keep
all
this up
long.
for a while.
Yeah,
So,
we could. But I
all right,
got, my
let's
DoorDash
wrap
is on
this
its
up, dude.
way.
Yep.
I gotta wrap it up. I gotta go grab my DoorDash, and then we're gonna bring y'all the SummerSlam predictions. We'll see y'all in the next one. You guys will get 2 videos in one day today. So hope y'all enjoy the upload schedule. We'll see y'all for a SummerSlam night one review, maybe depending on when the show goes off tonight. And depends on
We'll probably have to do the review tomorrow, and
yeah,
then
that's what I was thinking
we'll
too.
do review or night one, and then predictions for night two, and then maybe tomorrow night we'll do the review of night two.
Yep, sounds good. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Uh, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode. All right, my DoorDash